I'm not even ready. We're going to be live, and
it
doesn't matter. I mean, who the hell's actually watching this crap anyway?
I was embarrassed for us.
Look, we're 10 seconds in. Who's watching? Nobody. I'm still going to play the opening anyway. That's irritating me. Crap.
I think we're on the wrong side again.
Well, we might be, but that's okay.
So, hey, welcome everybody again. It's Wednesday night. Are You Shitting Me? TMI, the podcast. As always, I'm Ron here in Las Vegas, Nevada, and with me I have my favorite brother.
I'm Mike in Amarillo, and I'm already being edgy because I told Ron nobody was watching, so this is just really a two-way video call that whoever watches later will be able to be witness to.
Well, and I just had this epiphany hit me when we went on our little thing here. We should probably just start the show, because have you noticed how when we chop it up, have our conversations backstage, we just laugh and giggle with each other the whole time? And I'm like, we should be talking about this shit on the show.
Yeah, but sometimes we're talking about stuff we really don't want everybody to know.
Yeah, that's true. But Mike was just telling a story about when we were kids and his linguistic powers when he was a young man. I might tell that one again. It clearly has not a damn thing to do with toys. But yeah, how do we get to talking about it anyway? How do we get to talk about anything?
Well, we were talking about pronunciations.
About words
of things. So, you were picking on me because I do refer to sandwiches as sandwiches.
Oh, that's right. Sandwiches.
I'm so hungry. I need some sandwiches. And so that led us into, pronunciation of words, wrongful pronunciations. And so I shared the story of when we were younger, when we were kids, and I'm pretty sure it was the three of us, mom and dad. And somehow Dad tripped over a few extra bucks, and we were able to go to A&W. But the irony is, it was an A&W on in Old Colorado City, and so we go there, and everybody is getting their order in. So and somehow it ends up on me. It's like, son, what do you want? Well, I was a teen burger fan. I loved A&W teen burgers, but I thought, here's my chance to really impress everybody with how I've learned how to read so good. And I said, well, I want this and this. Well, what do you want to drink? I don't know. I'm still trying to decide which beverage I want. And I was all proud of myself. I thought, beverage, that was spelled to me. And that didn't go over so well.
Beep. Oh, hey, we have a looker. We have
one. Sucker fish. Somebody who clearly has nobody to spend Thanksgiving with other than Mike and Ron.
Amen. Amen. And that being said, just want to.
Oh, you froze up. He froze up again. He'll come back to us shortly when he's unfrozen. Look. What a weird place to just freeze up to. Look at that right there. All right. Well, I'm enjoying doing a uni podcast when Ronnie gets unfrozen. It's odd for a guy that actually does a radio show for an hour every afternoon. I'm finding it hard to talk about anything right now. I know we were going to talk about toys, but we did go into, let me make sure this isn't him. Well, that's not pretty. he just sent me a text. That's not pretty. So we'll give him a minute or two to re-log back in. So we were talking about toys. Well, that's what we intended to talk about tonight. And my mispronunciation of the word beverage. I was all proud of myself, man. I thought I impressed the folks, but clearly I made a dork of myself. And so, see, that started at a very early age. But I know one of the things we wanted to do is talk about toys tonight. Oh, look, now I can see him. He's getting ready to pop up here. He changed his handle. He froze up, so he's taking the chance to change his handle. You can put yourself back on the stage. Are you ready?
Hold on a second. Yeah,
Are you ready? Well, you switched to your phone.
Yeah, I for some reason I'm getting no my internet's down at the moment here at the house, so I popped onto my smell phone.
All right. Well, and
here, let me switch back.
To change your handle too.
Well, it was that's an old one if you remember correctly.
Oh, okay. All right.
Here, we'll go back to there we go. All right, and we're off. Well,
you're actually brighter now too. So maybe it's your camera. Oh crap! You just froze up again. Well, this is not good. Oh, there you are.
There we are. So Mike and I were. I said Mike, I kind of want to talk about toys. I figured today's going to be a really slow, easy day. So we're going to talk about toys. So I had a couple. Mike, you had posted one on one of the previews about the rocket launcher thing. Remember that?
Oh yeah, the one for like $12.98. Is that the one you're talking about? It was cool. Always frozen up again. It's going to be one of. Maybe we should talk about IT services.
No, I think that's you this time.
And internet connection. No, I'm fine. I see me. I'm moving just fine. Now you're popping up twice. Oh my! Now it's a stereo. We have to take one of you out there. We had to. Okay, there you are. I had to take one of you out because you were coming at us in stereo.
Well, I do that sometimes.
All right. Well, you may continue.
All right, so we're back. Oh, we lost our viewer.
There's a shocker.
Our viewer. But anyway,
I wonder if this was said before they logged off. Well, this fucking sucks.
So no, Mike had sent these. He does these previews, which are pretty cool now for the show. And one of them was this toy from probably back in, if I had to guess, 70s or 80s, probably 70s. Yeah. Of this little electronic rocket that you could, shoot and count down to the whole 9 yards, and it was very pre-Cold War-ish in my opinion. But when I was a kid, I remember we had this rocket launcher that you filled it with water and you stuck it on the little pike, and you pumped it with your foot, and that thing just boom! I mean, it just took off.
And you didn't know when it was going to go off. It went off whenever it was. You just sat there and pumped, and eventually it just took off.
Yeah, it took off like a rocket.
So I'm trying to look up our Facebook page, and I was going to look at the. Let's see. There we are.
Well, the one you had was.
This was the. Yeah.
I can hear it.
Yeah, can you hear it? That's awesome, dude.
Dude, that's the best.
Headphones and shit. Yeah, man.
2, 1, fire.
Right on.
That's great. That's good stuff. That is some straight from Radio Shack shit right there.
Did you but did you not dig the price? $12.98.
That's what I posted on that when you put it up there. I was like $12.98.
Damn, I need $13, Mom.
Yeah. No, it's like I need.
I don't know what $12.98 might have been back in the day.
Yeah,
it could be it. That could be it.
Yeah, a good 60 to 80.
Yeah, I remember the water one.
Yeah, those were always fun.
Well, anything back then, anything that was space related, because that's in the 60s and 70s. That was big stuff. Anything that was space related, because we just entered the space race. I think it was 64, 65 when Kennedy put us, said we will land somebody on the moon, and that's basically how NASA was born. So everything was, even auto designs, when you think about it, back in the day, were based on, car designs were based on rocketry and flight. Many vehicles were designed after, rocket fins, airplanes. So yeah, big impact on that, even the toy industry back then. But I was also thinking, look, technology for us was anything that might require us to use two hands or, batteries maybe. But, that was the extent of our technology back then. One of the ones that came to mind when we were talking about, or when you said toys, I was kind of scrolling through. You can't see me doing it, but right now I'm looking at a screen full of toys from the 60s and 70s. And one of the ones I thought about that I had forgotten about, one was the Bobby Hull hockey set.
Oh, yeah.
And I had one. And it's where you had the, controllers, you had to slide in and out, and then you'd turn them. That's how you got the hockey players to
they'd spin around, they had a little stick, and they just spin in circles.
But was that not the bomb when we were kids?
Oh, they were great.
The Bobby Hull hockey game, I could play with that thing for hours.
I got you a better one. I was looking at them over here too, and I came across Lincoln Logs. And I'm like,
Lincoln Logs, and the other one I saw was Tinker Toys.
Tinker Toys. God, I haven't heard that in 100 years. Yeah, Tinker Toys were great, but I remember in the basement when we were kids. I mean, I'd spend hours building shit with Lincoln Logs.
You and I would take Lincoln Logs, and I think we actually, lose some like you do. But I think we ended up combining Lincoln Logs and Tinker Toys and Little Green Army Men. And what we would do, we would sit in our room. This is when we lived on Nadine, and we shared a room. But you and I would sit apart from each other, set up our Army Men strategically, and then we'd hurl Lincoln Logs.
Lincoln Logs at the Little Green guys. Amen.
And so last one standing was winner, man. So
Lori, happy Thanksgiving to you as well.
But that was happy Tea Day. Happy Thanksgiving, Lori. But that was awesome, dude. That's, to me, if I could go back, compared to today, I thought about this when you brought up toys. Is there anything today that I would say, yeah, this supersedes anything that I had as a kid? No, because right there, what we just talked about, I wouldn't trade that for anything.
You want to know why, Mike? It's because nowadays when people play toys or games together, it's like cities, states, countries apart, very rarely.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's all online gaming now, and back then it was like you said, it was you and I in a bedroom sitting on one side or the other and chucking Lincoln Logs at your Army Men,
That's what we did, man.
It was the same thing if you went outside. You were still chucking.
I loved it, man. That was probably as when we were kids, of the things that you and I would do. I really think that's probably the most fun I had as a kid was chunking Lincoln Logs and Tinker Toys. And we would also build, you can build, things for the Army Men to hide behind.
Sure.
So you kind of had to get creative with throwing, the
ricochet off the wall, off the pillow.
So you had to hit the Army dude. Knocking the Lincoln Log over was nothing. You had to get him down. But that and playing with Tonka toys, Matchbox cars, Hot Wheels in the backyard, designing cities. We were architects back in the day.
Yeah,
and those are just to me, that's the kind of crap that kids just will never be able to. They'll never get it. They'll never understand that today. Is the thrill of hey man, you guys want to go outside, or having friends come over and say, hey, you guys want to go in the backyard and play Tonka toys?
Yeah.
I'm down for it. Or, I don't know if we ever did, but can you imagine today? I'm telling you, I'm in for this one too, is to get like a big Lincoln Log war going, like 2 or 3 people on each team. We can set Green Army men like
Sure.
30, 40, 50 feet apart and just go at it, man. I'm in.
Am I sensing a challenge?
That are you the challenger?
Are you challenging me?
Are you challenging me? Dude, I'm all in for something like that.
Dude, I'm down. I'm down. I had one pop up here. It's on my screen over here, and I remember having one. It was the Evel Knievel wind-up machine.
Yeah. Which one are you talking about? The motorcycle?
Yes. Yeah, where you put the motorcycle on and have a little wheel you spin and hit the button and you go pew and take off, and you can make ramps at the other end, or you go for distance, or how far you ride his wheelie, or
they've actually started remaking those, and they're a huge, giant money-making hit right now.
Of course.
And it's because cats like you and me want them. I want one. I'm not saying this just to be facetious. I want one.
No, I agree.
And it's some of the stuff, if you'll look at social media, I know you're a TikToker, but occasionally as I'm going through like Facebook or something, I'll see somebody post a video of their cool ramp setup, and they do like these these cool productions. Like slow-mo, Evel Knievel jumping over, and it's just
his cape
awesome,
waving behind him.
Dude, it is killer. But but when you want to talk about baby boomers, Gen Xers, 70s going into early 80s, Evel Knievel, period.
Oh, anything.
That's just it. Anything Evel Knievel, because he was the freaking man.
They had the Evel Knievel bus. They had the Evel Knievel, I think it was a Jeep or a truck or something that would tow things. The motorcycles, the outfits. Back when when he jumped the fountains at Caesar's Palace. What was that, in the 70s, 80s, somewhere around there?
Somewhere there, yeah.
And go back and watch that stuff. Look at the motorcycle he was riding. It looked like a freaking Harley Sportster.
It was a big fucking Harley. So everybody jumping these enduros, I get it. Travis Pastrana, absolutely. I'm all about Pastrana. I think the dude's
that dude is a leader in the industry. When he did the first
but
back,
you don't get a Travis Pastrana without an Evel Knievel.
You don't get a lot of things without Evel Knievel. There wouldn't be. Matter of fact, speaking of, one of the things I saw on here was a toy, the Bionic Man.
Yeah.
And was it Steve Austin? Was that his name?
Steve Austin.
Yeah, Steve Austin.
We have the technology.
You can rebuild him, make him faster, stronger. Yeah, for those it was like one of the iconic 70s TV shows. But again, it came with all the toys and all the stuff afterward. And then he became who did he become afterwards?
Who did he come after?
Yeah, wasn't he? Did he have another show after that?
Oh, Fall Guy.
Oh, Fall Guy. Yeah.
If you're talking about Lee Majors.
Yeah, Lee Majors. Yeah, Fall Guy.
And then again, talking about the 70s, Lee Majors was also married to the chick that did the hottest poster, probably of all time, Farrah Fawcett. I always go back to the Steve Martin bit where he's talking about that poster, and he says, "Yeah, all those times I held that poster up with one hand."
That's funny.
Let that one sink in for a little bit, kids. Your Uncle Mike's here to help you.
Let that sink in. But again, another one, Fall Guy again came with its own line of toys as well. So I really can't think of a lot of. I know like the wrestling stuff and all those, come with their action figures. But back in the day when we were kids, everything had an action figure. Every TV show they watched had an action figure.
Chips? I wasn't a big Chips fan, but Chips was huge.
Oh, God, yeah.
You couldn't go to the toy store without seeing something.
Ponch and John? I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah.
How can you go wrong with a crew named Ponch and John? I mean, come on.
Emergency. is
Dukes of
another one.
Hazzard.
Oh, there's a big one right there.
Huge toy. I mean, you had the General Lee, you had the Jeep that Daisy Duke drove. I mean, you name it. Roscoe P. Coltrane. But that's one of those shows I remember, and I'm sure you do as well. You know, watching with Dad on the weekends. You know.
Yeah.
That
That's kind of a Dukes of Hazzard guy. A-Team's another one.
Big
Lots of action
A-Team.
figures with it.
Yeah.
So it seemed like every successful TV show back then had some sort of an action figure or game or something that was
hear my
born
boss.
because of it.
Look,
I see something sneaking in.
you see it? Where's it at?
It's
Oh.
your schizophrenia.
It's on that side.
It's just it's your schizophrenia coming in.
How many of you are there?
Just unplug it.
I'm leaving.
Where you going, baby?
I'm leaving.
Oh, she's gonna get us food. Yay!
Yay.
Hi, Michelle. Love you, Michelle.
Yeah.
See the hand?
Coming soon, the Michelle action figure.
Won't have a lot of action. that's
Yeah.
for sure.
She said, "Won't be a lot of action. It'll just be a figure." But no, I mean,
We've all reached that age, Michelle.
yeah, amen. Yeah, we're more built for comfort than speed nowadays.
That's right. And I am very comfortable.
But the one that really hit me, and I know they still have them out now, but I remember when they came out, the Rubik's Cube.
Everybody had a damn Rubik's Cube. Did you
I
ever solve
was
it?
that kid that just took it apart and put it back together where the colors matched.
See, I wanted to just take the stickers off and put it back on. And
No, I literally
press
broke
it.
this damn thing apart piece by piece, and then it's literally on a little cylinder inside there. They have little legs that plug into them, and that's how it turns. So I just pop those off and turn them to the right colors and put them back together.
there you go. Then you can use it to impress the chicks.
Amen. Yeah, that's right. I did that. Took me 37 years. But you start getting into, we talk about those types of toys, but then I see here one of the iconic toys from the day, which was the Atari, the original Atari.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Little joystick, but again, that's just one of those toys that, it wasn't like you hit something earlier, Mike. You talked about the Hot Wheels. Remember the Hot Wheels City? They had like a garage. And a grocery store and a car wash, and yeah, I mean those are the bomb.
One of the coolest things that I think Hot Wheels ever came out with was the like the power stations. You can set up the track, but you can include these power stations. They were battery operated, and they were just basically two wheels on the inside that as the car approached it, it would fire it out again. So if you set it up correctly, you could just sit there and watch your Hot Wheel go around that track.
Around and around. Nice.
Yeah, so but I loved Hot Wheels.
Well, Matt, if you figured out after all these years how to solve that, God love you. You have way more patience than I do.
Well, he's a former serviceman.
Again, I say, you have way more patience than I do. No, thank you.
Oh
What else we
man.
got on here? We've got.
Let's see. I was looking. You already beat me. So there's the standards. Connect 4, Simon.
So I got Simon on here.
There were a couple that I saw that now see, they include Pez. Pez to me wouldn't be a toy.
That was a toys of candy. Now I'm going to say this because we had a sister, so don't any of you get the wrong idea. But do you remember the Easy Bake Oven where you could bake stuff with a 60-watt light
Yeah,
bulb?
we talked about. I loved Don's Easy Bake Oven.
Make me some brownies.
I was an easy bake culinary wizard, man. It's like, really, you put a 60-watt light bulb in there. Now, it might take you 5 fucking hours, but eventually I'll make you a grilled cheese.
So they have these things on here. Matter of fact, I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to show you.
Uh-oh.
You remember those?
Those? Oh, yeah. There's a ball or something in there that you,
Yes.
it was like
Yes.
air.
And then you give
the
the
red
old,
part, you smack it. Yeah. Dude, I forgot about those.
I know. So did I. So I just saw it pop up here. I don't know what it's called. And
When
then,
you think about it, what a stupid fucking game. But I mean, back then it was probably cool.
but dude, you hit
Right?
it right on the head. 90% of the shit I'm looking on here, I'm like, how fucking dumb was that?
It just is, man. It's like
It was hours of entertainment
and you had to go outside.
for most of it. Yeah, for most
Kids,
of it.
kids today won't get.
The other one I had on
Um,
here was, believe it or not, was a lowly Mr. Potato Head.
Did you know when Mr. Potato Head came out, you had to have a real potato because all you could get were the
Was the
parts.
accessories?
Yeah, you had to have a real potato to play with Mr. Potato Head. Isn't that kind of sad?
Yeah, that's very. What if you were poor?
Yeah,
Oh,
you wait.
boy, stop playing with your food.
You wait until the government box of food was it was your turn to go get one.
That's
Because
right.
it was not only could you eat, but you could play with your Mr. Potato Head shit. Like, all right,
That and your box of cheese.
powdered
Some
milk.
of you will get that.
Only the older ones, the young ones are going, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah. We
Rockin'
call that, ebonically refer to that as government cheese.
Government. Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
I actually have one of those still to this day.
Do you really?
I do. I play it with Elena. They love it. The grandkids love it. Yeah. I love
Well,
it until it
because-
gets to be too annoying, then I take it away.
To me, that's that's better than just a regular board game. I love shit like that. I loved Rock'em Sock'em Robots. Hell, I even kind of enjoyed Hungry Hippos.
Oh yeah, yeah. We have one of those too.
Do you really?
And Lori, yeah, I agree. Pick up sticks. I mean, for such a dumb game, it was hours of entertainment for us when we were kids.
Because
that-
we didn't know any better. We
That
hadn't been.
Jacks.
We hadn't. Jacks, right? I in fact, when you brought up toys, I thought about that. I thought, Jacks, man. And here goes my masculinity. I could play you some Jacks. I was not bad at Jacks, man. Etch a Sketch. Was my man. Hey, there's my brother Steve.
Steve, what's up, brother, man?
Creepy crawlers.
Why do creepy crawlers get banned? Essentially, the boyfriend version of an easy bake oven. The creepy crawlers as well. Kids to make multiple spider.
Yeah,
that was good for your lungs.
In fact, he nailed two things there. One is, if I remember right, the creepy crawler heating element actually got to like 400 fucking degrees, man. It was like, I'm not kidding. Look it up. I think you're going to find that bitch warmed up to 400 degrees, and he's absolutely correct. I think it emitted a toxic odor that they would later discover might not have been the best thing for kids to be huffing. We might have been better off. We might have been better off with model glue.
Just smoking weed.
Well, that's it's a gate. Creepy crawlers was a gateway drug.
Yeah. Lori, yes, I do remember when you guys bought Ron Jr. his Buzz Lightyear. Matter of fact, when he was younger, he used to refer to him as Buzz Lightyear. That took me a long time to make him understand it was not Lightyear, it is Lightyear. But yeah, that was like one of his all-time favorite toys from back in the day.
Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear, yeah. Yeah, had the little button you push on there, made a laser noise, or it was to infinity and beyond. Good old Tim Allen.
My favorite one is not Buzz Lightyear. It's the other one is there's a snake in my boot.
Somebody's poisoned the water hole.
Someone's poisoned the water hole. Great. Now I want a Buzz Lightyear and a Woody.
Whoa. This is a family show.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Mike just said he wants to.
We may be canceled.
Well, they make pills for that, Mike. Yeah, all right. I get it.
Yeah. Right. Let's see. What are we about? About 30 minutes into it. This anybody got a favorite toy they remember from back in the day, except Mike?
Oh God! What about Wheelos? Do you remember those? Do you see that on your screen? Because
What?
I saw it on mine. Wheelos. It's the wheel that was spun around on this thing you held in your hand.
Oh,
And,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's literally all it did is it would you just wheel it back and forth.
yeah. They
Yeah.
have it called on here as
Great fun.
the Magic Rail Twist Twirler is what it's called on here. But yeah, you literally just so they go like this,
Yeah.
and it would go around. And
find one.
it was like a little puck with two little
Oh,
magnets
there's your-
everywhere in.
There's the one you were talking about earlier. Let me see if I can.
But they had the one here. I noticed there's one here that Dad took away from me when I was younger. It was the little gun that shot those little tiny discs.
Yep. I think they is again that had something to do with space. It was like a space gun.
Absolutely,
Space discs,
yeah.
and it's what it did. So you'd find those damn things all over the house.
It says we
And,
found these little discs everywhere years afterwards. Lori, yes, Slinky, absolutely. Who could forget a Slinky? That was you talk about one of the all-time biggest selling toys. That was just a dumb idea.
Hey, kept us entertained. Hey, watch this thing will go down steps.
Yeah, right.
Goes down steps better than I
It
do.
walks all by itself, Bubba. So
All
did you
right.
find what you were looking for?
Well,
Or are you
yeah, but I
still
can't
trying to
show you
find
a
what
picture
you're
of
looking
it.
for. Ba-dum-bum.
I cannot show you a picture of it.
Oh, okay. Be that way.
Yeah, space. No, I found the rocket. I was trying to find the Wheelo thing, but
Oh, I can
you folks will just have to go look it up yourself.
I can move my camera and show it to you. Here.
Yeah, I can't.
We're gonna
My
go for a
camera's-
little ride, and we're gonna go.
Camera's got to see where it is. Ooh, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And here's Mike's game right here.
Jack's baby.
And then
I will
there's the
tell you,
original
Jack.
conversation.
Yeah, Lincoln Logs.
Dude, loved them.
We didn't build anything. We threw it at people. Great, a bucket full of armament. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
Why would you want to build something when you can chuck it at somebody?
Build something. That seems like a freaking waste. We can throw it at him. Well-
Lori, I don't think we were much of a Ken and Barbie type family. Not that I
Yeah,
remember.
Lori. That's
Yeah.
that wasn't our thing.
We were more army men. Those little little army men that had the parachute you'd wrap around it, you chuck it up in the air,
Yeah.
and it open
And
up and
sometimes
float. Dude, that was
Well,
the
sometimes
coolest
you made
shit.
your own.
Yes, that
You
was
go
the
find a big
coolest shit
giant
ever.
damn piece of plastic, make your own, man. And if you
Or-
didn't have army men, you'd attach a washer and a nut or something to it. Throw that bitch up in the air and see how long it takes. for it to
Or
come down.
you strap a black cat to it, and as it's as it's floating down,
Yeah.
it would just explode midair.
See, those are the kind of love those things. Playing with fire? Are you kidding?
Yeah,
Play with
I
fire?
know nothing about that. I plead the fifth. I know nothing.
Yeah, well,
about
that's
playing with fire.
I was going to kind of lead into that one with us being in the room, and
He's a liar, folks. He's a liar.
yeah, well, I'm clearly I want to get to the fact that Ronnie, when we were younger, tried to burn our damn house down by.
and I would have succeeded if it wasn't for you and your.
If it wasn't for you
Dog.
meddling kids. If it wasn't for you meddling kids, let's see who you really are.
And that
Oh.
dog. Oh, it is you. Shit, never mind.
Yep. Set the mattress on fire and tried to burn the joint down.
I do have vivid memories of Dad coming and chucking the mattress out the window.
He did. He wasted no time, man.
Hey, when you're living with me, you got to keep on your toes, buddy.
Yeah, well,
You can't sit sterile for too long.
we didn't look. It was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath house. Had you burned it down, we had a tent. I guess we could have lived in the tent for a while.
Did Dad have
although
the camper at that time? Probably not. No, he didn't.
probably
think-
not.
I don't think that was
Um,
until debonair
I don't think he had built that eyesore.
contraption.
Poor Dad. I mean, Dad did some beautiful work, but then at times he just did shit that you seriously, dude. Do you really think this looks good?
It's
Because it
We're
does
trying-
not.
when you're driving down the street and you know people are looking at you like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, it's. I wonder if that's homemade. Do you think?
Steve, you
And
know,
not
BB
only-
guns.
Not
BB
only
guns
was
will
it
put an eye out.
homemade,
Yeah.
not only was it homemade, but he painted it yellow.
Yeah.
Nothing
He-
screamed. Please look at this piece of this turd.
He
More
was a,
than why did
or
you
the
just-
orange car. We either one.
It's like, God, Dad.
So Steve says BB gun fights in the cemetery. Everybody got hurt. Ricochet BBs were painful. Dude,
But we
used to
didn't
have-
care.
Nah,
We didn't
who
think
cares?
about people getting hurt. We didn't think about putting an eye out.
Yeah.
We
You
just
know,
thought about
okay, go out and play. Make sure you
had
have
to
your
take the enemy
phone.
out.
Take a bottle of water with you. Wear your helmet. You know, fuck that.
Yeah,
Give me
yeah.
a
We
dirt
just-
clod, a BB gun, and a Lincoln log, and let's go
you
kick
guys
some
go
ass.
outside. If you cut yourself, there's band-aids. Come in
Yeah.
here, get you one or two, get your ass back out there, and go again. All right, thanks, Mom and Dad.
I used to
And-
always, you know, if you didn't cut yourself, if you weren't bleeding at some point in time when you were a child, you weren't having fun.
Please. I mean, some of us cut our fingers off. Some of us bled.
As adults, even.
Yeah, well, yeah. The thumb on one, the index finger the other one. But no, those, you know, listen, we've talked about this plenty of times before, but it's worth repeating. There's great value in going outside and you know, just stretching it to the limit, man, taking it to the max. Look, Steve and I, you'll appreciate this one. Steve, how many times should we have died on them fucking three-wheelers?
Kawasaki Duster, baby.
Those things should have killed us. And what did we do? Get right back on them damn things and go.
I got to tell you something, Steve and Mike. You know, we really recently had the rodeo come through here in Vegas, and I heard somebody say something about a bucking bronco, and I about peed myself because all I could hear is Steve Mann saying, "Man, that bronco flew me."
It was hilarious. We were doing donuts in the church across Cerro Blanco. And Steve
about
was
cried.
laughing, dude. To know Steve is to know Steve is like 8 feet tall. I think
Yeah.
he's really 6. I think he's 6'6", 6'7", somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, same thing.
But it was hilarious because we're doing donuts over in that parking lot. Steve's got his going, and he hits a dry spot. He hits a dry piece of pavement, and he takes off, man. And so do we whine and bitch about it? No, he gets up and just laughing his ass off, going, "Hey, Mikey, that bronc threw me." And so we get right back on and go.
It's one of these. It's one of these.
Steve will remember this one. There was out off of Powers before it all got developed. Somebody had created sort of this enduro track. It had berms and shit in it.
Yeah, it's
And it
out
was
there
literally
where
from-
where that Target is now, or
It was
Kmart.
literally from there was a Kmart across the street, which comes into play. So Steve and I are out there, and we're trying to outdo each. We're doing time trials. So I'd go take a run, come back. He'd be timing me. Steve would go make a run, come back, be timing me. So I'm. It might have been me, Steve, but I took off, and one of us did, and ended up wiping out so horrifically that those Ducksters actually had a toolkit under the seat. Well, the
Mhm.
seat comes flying off. The toolkit goes flying everywhere. And
Yard
I think
sale.
it was me because I can hear Steve yelling, "Mikey, Mikey," and I can't breathe. I'm trying to say I'm here. So he finally comes and finds me. We gather everything, put it back together again, and I had a flat tire. So we go over to Kmart. The guys at Kmart fixed the tire for us. What did Steve and I do? Went right back in
at
that
it.
racetrack, man.
Fucking A.
We went right back to that thing.
And I
and
would expect nothing less out of you, either one of you.
we did, yeah, to hell with it, man. So
So nowadays, kids would have been like, I'm hurt. I have to go home.
oh,
man."
please. Yeah. Today it'd be, oh, you poor thing. We better get you, some sort of a emotional support animal. Please stay inside. and you can identify as a squirrel if you'd like.
I'd say one of
it's
my
all-
favorite movies right now is a movie called Old Dads. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's well worth it because that's exactly what it is. you hit it right in the head. The kid falls down, hurts himself, and the one dad's all, "Hey man, get up, just rub a little dirt on it. Why put it on? It'll be okay, And this other guy comes over and goes, "Oh, you should probably put some Neosporin on that." He's like, "Are you a fucking doctor? Get the fuck out of here!"
If it contains more than 2 syllables, I don't need to put it on me. Mercurochrome. What the hell?
Some kid from Colorado found your Dexter toolkit the other day. You want to know if you want it back.
Now, Steve, I don't know if he's been back to the Springs in quite a while. Steve, you wouldn't believe.
Oh my God.
How it has, you wouldn't recognize anything. Powers.
I think Whitefield is now the end of town.
It's all gone. I mean, everything that we had. Honestly, there was Steve. Was it I think it was a 9-hole course. There was a golf course out there. People probably don't know this. There was a golf course out there just south of, I think, Kmart. And I think it was a 9-hole course. I'm not sure. And Steve and I would go out there and play it every once in a blue moon. So we're out there one day and we'd rented a golf cart. And so we're going along and Steve was sitting, I was driving and Steve's in the passenger seat. And I made some sort of a stupid comment of like, squirrel or hole or something. So I yanked the wheel of the golf cart. All I see, and again, Steve's like 6'6", 6'7". All I see these legs just falling out of the golf cart, and it was freaking hilarious.
I've actually played that course.
Have you really? Yeah.
Matt just said right there, it's still there.
Oh, it's still there. Okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if it was or not. But
I played that. I played that course about I'd say probably about 12 or 13 years ago. I played that course.
It was kind of a turd course when we were there, but it had no trees, so we were good. I'm the kind of golfer I need wide open spaces, baby.
So Steve says
that Bronc threw me.
That Bronc also
did throw me. Somewhere I have Steve and I did Steve, I think this was was it a fundraiser? We did a deal in Johnson City where we raised, I think there were quads, and they did a program, and I still have this program to this day. And they allowed us to do an ad, and I think it was in the back of the program. And so what I did is I drove a golf cart with Steve. I think it is either Steve and I were in it, or the golf cart, and the caption underneath is something about Steve falling out of it. And I just thought that would have been funny, based on what we were doing, is racing those quads. So Steve and I, if you haven't been able to tell, did some wicked cool shit back in the day. And Steve and I actually got into the radio business together.
All right, folks. And next week on the Steve and Mike show, we're going to.
There you go. Happy to have Steve on. I did a deal.
What, man, even as a kid, I didn't know Steve for that long, but as a kid, I remember Steve, and he was always around the house. You guys were always doing shit together. And I have to tell you something, that in itself, you guys still being friends to this day, is a feat in itself, because shit like that just doesn't happen anymore. I mean,
it doesn't.
Mike, you and I have friends that we've known for, what do you say, 40 years?
Oh, please.
At least, Ken Hall. By the way, happy birthday, Matt Hall. It's Matt's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Matt.
I mean, the Halls. I have other people that I went to school with, but I think the Halls and the Lashes and all them easily got to be 40 years. And Steve, you and Steve got to be probably more than 40 years, if I had to guess.
I'd say Steve and I have known each other for, I want to say 41, something between 41 and 43 years.
Yeah. So, and again, that's one, to still be alive is quite the feat. but two, yeah. But two, still being is no, all seriousness. It really is, man. It's
well, and real quick, and I don't want to turn this into this show, but how Steve and I met is today still proof to me that God exists, and He has been around me all my life. It's taken me too long to understand the God moments in my life. And I firmly believe, I believe Steve was a God moment. I met Steve in college at Pikes Peak Community College when we were taking broadcasting. And we had been in class for quite some time. And I always saw him as this tall dude that always wore this Boston Celtics jacket. Well, here comes the time when Kurt Groh, looked that up in the Springs, a very popular DJ back in the day. But Kurt was our professor. And so we had to pair off this particular night because we were going to work in these labs and learn how to segue 45s and play carts commercials. So you had to segue, play a commercial, and go into the next song, right? Everybody paired off except for Steve and I. And it came down to him and I just thought, well, it's that dude with always wearing that damn Boston Celtics jacket. And so we went into a lab, we went into the room, and I shit you not, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, within 10 minutes, we're laughing our asses off. And our friendship started right there. And I did a deal on my show here just a couple of days ago, and it was, how many friends does a guy really have in his life? And it works out to be, and I agree with it, you have an average of 5 to 8 people that you'll claim as a friend. But most men our age will have 3 people that they will consider a best friend. I took it one step further. I have one person that I have allowed into my bubble, and his name is Steve Mann. And so that's how beautiful that, when I think back to how we met, that's how beautiful that moment is to me today.
So at Pikes Peak College, what I heard was nobody wanted to be either one of your guys' friend.
Yeah, well, probably because we were also
all paired up. They're like, yeah, not that guy and not that guy.
Yeah, we just everybody paired off. Dude, we had guys in our class named Spoonie,
Chucker,
and no, Chucker wasn't in our class. We had another guy named Fitzhugh Baskerville, and so there was some odd people in our class. So for Steve and I to just kind of get left behind, and I don't mind telling you, I think we ended up becoming Kurt's phase. I mean, we were teachers' pets.
Well, like I said, that's, and you're absolutely right, Mike. I mean, God puts people in our path for very specific reasons, and if that was your path, then yeah, amen. And it's, I'm glad. Honestly, I'll joke in aside. I know I like to kid with you guys a lot, but yeah, it's nice that you guys are still friends this long into it, and still can. I'm sure you guys could probably not talk for months, if not years at a time, and pick.
Oh hell, we haven't seen each other for years,
and still pick up a phone and just start off a conversation like you never left each other. So yeah,
I mean, we message each other from the time. I've gotten a few from him lately, but I don't know the last time I've really spoken to Steve. And I can tell you the last time I saw him was probably 20 years ago. That's a little bit too long.
I don't have any friends.
We'll clearly I only have one, so I'm
okay. You're winning. Okay.
Oh, woo! I have a friend.
1-0. So I was going to tell you guys, when Mike and I were chopping it up backstage before we started, we're like, yeah, this will be about a 20-30 minute show because nobody's going to be watching.
We didn't think anybody would be watching.
We're going on 50 minutes now. We've got the board lit up with,
the board all lit up.
Ergo, we should just shut the fuck up and start talking.
We probably should. But listen, I know tomorrow's Thanksgiving. We had intended to be out at your place.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Unfortunately and fortunately, that's not happening.
Yeah. And can I tell you this? That works both ways. Carolyn's a little under the weather, so I'm trying to get her back to feeling better. It's not like her to be sick. And so whenever she does get sick, it makes me feel bad. So she's getting over some sort of a cootie. So I hope she gets better. But she's out there right now working on tomorrow's dinner.
Well, for all of you that are having Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow, happy Thanksgiving, and hopefully you have a lot to be thankful for. I know I live an uberly blessed life, thankful life for my wife, my kids, and my family, and that includes, my co-part here, Mike. And today's day and age and time, it's sometimes hard to find that in life, but you have to just dig a little bit deeper and become that element that makes everybody else thankful as well. So,
Right.
Even come down to this show, and and Mike, I've kind of given Mike a hard time over the last year or so of doing this because he didn't want to do it, and I wanted to, and I got to tell you, Mike, I don't think the word thankful is a powerful enough word, but I'm thankful for this show. It may not be, burning down the house with views, but you know what? I look forward every Wednesday to sitting chit chatting with you and listening to the people's responses, the little people that we have.
Yeah. Yeah. I know even when I had told you, before we chopped it up in the back, I told him, I said, dude, I don't think anybody's going to watch. So I think this is going to be a video conference, a video phone call between you and me. And Ronnie's response was good. I'm looking forward to it. And so good for you, man. I'm glad you talked me into doing this. It brings people back into the circle like Steve. I tell him all the time, I love him, and I do. I love him like a brother. Our cousin Matt. I love Matt desperately.
Oh, absolutely. Matt's the man. I got to tell you something, Steve, if you're still there or not. You are the reason I became a Boston Celtics fan. And I think it was that fucking jacket.
He was a negative influence.
I mean, when you guys were friends, mind you, I was, let's see, if you were 20, I was maybe 12. So I was right. Young, and I just remember Steve being around, and I always thought Steve was this, cool dude, and he's wore the Boston Celtics jacket. Yeah, and I remember being a huge Celtics fan until they started to suck.
Yeah, well, that's the thing with Steve. I think he's still a Celtics fan. I don't think when you're a fan,
you're also a Broncos fan.
We're still Broncos fans. All right, man. I'm gonna hop off.
Well, thank you guys for joining us once again. Happy Thanksgiving tomorrow, and we'll be back next week for another episode of Are You Shitting Me? TMI, the podcast, where I'm sure we'll think of something to talk about, and it won't happen. We'll talk about some other shit.
Hopefully.
So, 2 guys. Hold on, we got 2. What do you say here?
Did you get him?
2 guys with jackets. Now 3 guys.
3 guys with jackets.
That's called a band.
I forgot about 2 guys with jackets. All right, love you all.
All right, guys, love you. We'll see you next week.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Amen.